Tope Fajingbesi is the author of Love in Cancun, a diary format novel based on a true life experience. She hosted friends and other guests to a book reading event focused on love in Cancun. And we were there. Here's how it went.
My choice of Cancun was for a place that I could feel that breeze and I didn't have any distractions. So I'm looking for ideas for the next place to go. So if you guys have something, let me know.
Right at the heart of Lagos, southwest of Nigeria, Tope Fajingbesi brought together people from different walks of life to explore love in Cancun, a diary-like memoir that reads like a drama novel.
I found love. Love for God in spite of his invisibility. Love for my life in spite of my flaws. Love for the world in spite of its turbulence. Love for my purpose in spite of its challenges. Love for my inner circle in spite of their imperfections. Love for the ocean in spite of my inabilities. Indeed, I found love in Cancun. On its beautiful beaches, in its gentle breeze, and especially its amazing souls. In Rigo, when he declared, "You make my day very happy." And Carlos, when he kept his promise to make me coconut fritters on Friday. In Juan, when he greeted me with tea and mixed fruit juice every morning. And in all the men and women who smiled, spoke, and nodded. Through them all, I found love in Cancun. Cancun was my 4th solo vacation without a phone. And I want to challenge everybody to try this thing within the next 12 months. Wherever you go without your phone. Go without a laptop. Go without a camera. And you will you'll come back with not just a bestseller, an Amazon.com bestseller, but you'll come back with a better understanding of yourself.
There were questions for the author, and a number of them had to do with getting to know and learning from the woman behind Love in Cancun.
I've seen you write your first book, What Color Is Your Money?
Yeah.
You know, and all those your analogies and everything, which was actually from you, interestingly. Yeah. So how do you know, I want to draw some inspiration in terms of being able to focus, you know, and how you are able to complete this thing. You set your mind to do something and then you complete it.
Wow. Thank you so much for asking me that question, because I have to first of all say that I am the biggest procrastinator you've ever met, and that's the truth. But this second book was actually easier for me to write than the first book. The first book was a finance book, and I had been an accountant for 15 years at the time. So, you know, it was supposed to be easy, but it was just really hard. But what I realized was the difference between the first book and the second book is one of them was naturally me. Look at this. I can't move anywhere without a pen. I have to have a pen, and there has to be a small paper that I can jot down my thoughts. That's the way I think. But then when you're writing about something that is you, something that is, you know, when I write all these things on Facebook, they're just jumping out of my head, and I need an outlet to pour it into. So it was easy for me to write about something that, you know, fits my purpose, which is trying to help people make sense of this life that we're living. And the easiest part was actually writing the book, which I wrote by hand. This whole thing I wrote by hand. Remember, I didn't have a computer, and I didn't have a phone, so I wrote it in like 2 notebooks.
I think a lot of the things you're touching on have to do with self-actualization, right? So how do you explain that? How do you explain this to someone, to people? Because so some people will say, look, it's easier for you to make decisions about actualizing yourself when you at least have certain bases covered.
I always say something. I teach a class now, the purpose-driven life, and I always say, if you're not ready, because life is just happening, to fly with your fear, you can run the hustle parallel. And I ran that hustle for 14 years, parallel. Because you can run parallel for the rest of your life. And you will never feel like you're ready to let it go. But I will never know if I don't try. The problem with many of us is that side hustle will never grow because we're not honoring what God has called us to do.
From accountancy to running a foundation for children, how is Tope able to juggle a busy life with writing?
People really think I do a lot more than I actually do in real life. I have to tell you, first of all, that I'm a very, very passionate writer. You have to be called to do it. You have to be led to do it. And, you know, for me, I believe that each human being has two duties in life, just two. The first one is to find why they were created. The second one is to find who was supposed to help them, you know, make that why happen. For me, if I'm interacting with you and I don't see those two questions being answered in our interaction, you're probably not going to get a response from me. So it's very important that I, you know, limit my interaction to that. In terms of me doing all, not really. Well, during the week, I sleep for maybe 4 hours a night, but Saturdays and Sundays, most of the time, I am asleep. But when I'm awake, I try to use the waking hours very much. And most of the time, I'm writing, so people think I'm very active and I'm very, you know.
Love, relationships, self-discovery, adventure, and meaning. Those are what Love in Cancun is all about, and the same can be said about its author. Let's hope she keeps finding those expressions in her subsequent books.
As well, I enjoy traveling.
Perhaps the best way to describe Tope's diary-like memoir is to call it an autobiographical novel or autobiographical fiction. In a brief chart, Tope explained the line dividing reality and fiction in her book. She also provided some insights into her writing.
This book is your diary.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So we're reading your diary here.
It's my diary, but then I added some fiction to it. That's boring. Just reading my diary and my take on how life should be the same, how you should observe the ocean. Nobody wants to read just that. So I decided to, you know, add a love story.
Okay. So which part of this is fiction now?
So
is it the love story part? Is it Habib?
The Habib is fiction. Habib and the son, they were fiction at the time, but they're no longer fiction now.
Oh, tell me about that. Okay. So, now wait. Let me read here. Let me read what you wrote here. Okay, you wrote here. I think page 32.
Okay.
Where's that? Okay, now our guide began saying something in English, but honestly, I could not hear a single word. The only thing I heard was the sweet greeting of peace and blessings from the masculine wonder of the world. I responded likewise and found that my throat had suddenly gone dry. My name is Habib.
Yes.
So Habib there is fictional.
Habib is fictional. Very, at this point, and throughout Cancun, there was no Habib. Habib came to life two months after the book.
2 months after the book.
2 months after the book. But what the book did, and what, you know, creating this character did, was to help me figure out what I wanted next time I was going down this love journey. So I started to think boldly, what do I want? What kind of man do I really want to be with? And I kind of created him in the book. And somehow, you know, if your mind can conceive something, then your God can do it. And he did it.
I was going to ask you how close is the real Habib to fictional Habib?
The real Habib and the fictional Habib, there's only one thing that is different between them: their age.
Oh.
Everything from, you know, they're having a son, to having the son woo the woman, to the job that Habib does in this book, and the job that the husband does in real life, are actually the same.
Incredible.
The same.
Incredible. So you must have been stunned when you actually met Habib.
I was shocked.
The real Habib.
I was shocked. I was shocked because I think the word is not shocked. The word is I was freaked out because I couldn't understand how it was possible to write something.
So you created this fictional story.
I did.
And then it became real.
It became real.
This is where we have to stop today. I hope you have enjoyed being with us. As always, our social media platforms are displayed on your screen just in case you want to get in touch with us or join us online for conversations and announcements. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.